Hey guys. So I'm going to show you some exercise specific to rehab your core. So these are great if you're a postpartum mama and you feel like your stomach is just not as strong as it used to be, right? And that's normal. So I'm going to walk you through 3 different movements that are really going to help you kind of re-engage your core, pull those muscles back together. And this works for whether you just had a baby or it's been years since you've had a kid. But if you feel like your core has just never been the same, you probably didn't do the proper rehab your core needed in order to get back to full function. So I'm going to walk you through 3 movements. The first one is going to be plank pull-throughs, and you're basically going to grab a weight. It doesn't have to be heavy, and I actually wouldn't recommend it being heavy because it's not about how much weight you can kind of pull through. It's more about the control of your movement. So first things first, your first cue is that you're on your hands. So you're in a high plank position, right? Your shoulders are directly on top of your wrists. Your feet are slightly apart, right? And that's so that you have a little bit more balance. You're gonna go ahead and pull to the opposite side to grab that weight and pull it to the same side. Nice and slow. You set for a second and pull through. The goal is to try and not have your hips move or swing, right? Sometimes I see this, right? They're swinging it over. There's a lot of movement going around. You keep it, you're like a tree trunk. Nothing moves. It's just your branches in the wind, moving it over and move it over. Try not to stick your butt out or be overly forward, okay? Second exercise is a hollow hold. So a hollow hold is kind of like, I want to pretend you're a boat. That's the best way you can describe it. And your back is the bottom of the boat. And you want to make sure it's completely flat against the floor. And the only way to do that is you really have to pull in, kind of bear down into the movement. It should kind of feel like when we were pushing to get our babies out, it's the same type of bear down movement in your core. So first things first, right, when you lay down, there's a natural space. I want you to take a deep breath in. And when you blow out, I want you to push your belly button into the mat. And keep it all, but you want to imagine a corset pulling in, okay? From here, your arms are going to be here. And I want you to start here, okay? My core is already shaking in this position, okay? The ultimate position would be to stick your legs out. And right now, I'm shaking a lot more. Notice though, my back is flat. There is no gap here, right? It took me a while to get to this position, right? I started like this because I found that when I extended my legs, my back would curve, and that defeats the purpose. A hollow hold means everything in here is pulled in. We're bearing down into that core, and you're just holding it. You're not holding your breath. You're breathing through the movement, okay? Woo! Next up, you're actually gonna go ahead and stay in this position, meaning you're on your back, okay? You're going to drive your hips up right here, okay? Keep it up. And all you do is you're just gonna march up and up. Nice and slow. I'm not going fast. Just driving it up. Notice I'm not letting my hips fall. I'm keeping them up. In order to start, it's okay if maybe you support those hips a little bit. As long as you keep them up and you're keeping your core engaged. I'm gonna go nice and slow, guys. Okay. As this gets easier, which it will, you can go ahead and progress it. You can go ahead and grab some weights. Again, doesn't have to be heavy. And you can do marches. So you're gonna hold these straight up, pulling your core, and you're just gonna drive and drive and drive. There's no swinging. I'm controlling the movement. Biggest thing coming back, especially after having a baby, is that control with your core. Focus on really pulling everything in. Like I said, these 3 movements, 4 if you go to the marches, are really great for your core, especially coming back from having a baby. But you don't have to have had a baby to feel like you really need to work on your core. These are great ways, other than crunches and nonstop planks and all kinds of other stuff where you're like rotating, right? Core versus abs. Abs is a lot of rotation. You're moving through the planes. Core movements or core exercises are really about kind of bearing down into the center of your trunk and controlling that movement as something else is going on, or it's just a static hold. That iso hold works wonders if you have the proper form. I hope this helps.